From time to time, I run across a client situation where they have a minority shareholder within the company, and they're creating all kinds of work havoc, disruptions. Many times there is a costly litigation ensuing within the company, within the shareholders. At the same time, if you are in this type of situation and wanting to exit, whether you want to do an internal transition to family members or employees or an external third-party sale, your plans sort of become a state of flux. So there's several ways to deal with minority shareholders. First, obviously, the first option is to buy your minority shareholder out. Okay, depending on how much they own, you may want to consider paying them a premium to buy them out and not fight as much about on the valuation of the shares. And again, that depends on transaction size and the economies. However, keep in mind that there is a tremendous cost for continuing to battle with your minority shareholder. That said, if you do buy them out, make sure you don't saddle the company with so much debt that it cannot operate its day-to-day operations and or support its growth initiatives. Number two, you can recapitalize the company. And by this I mean that you can bring in a third-party investor or a private equity firm to buy out your minority shareholder. Number three, you can divide the assets. This may not apply to all companies, but if you have certain real estate assets or subsidiaries or branches of your company, etc., where certain assets can be given to the minority shareholder to resolve the dispute, certainly that's an option. Number four, for serious disputes, you could consider a voting trust. A voting trust is essentially a trust where all shareholders assign their shares and the voting rights to an independent trustee, and the trustee then takes over for a defined period of time. Number five, you can do a freeze-out merger, also known as a squeeze-out. In this type scenario, two entities are merged together into one company, and the minorities are forced out based on a cash amount. Depending on the state you live in, like California and Delaware, you could also do something called a short form merger. In this case, two entities are merged and the minority shareholder is forced out based on an independent appraisal. If you have existing issues with a minority shareholder or you think you may have issues, consult an attorney early on. The last thing you want to do is take your business out in the market and then not being able to sell.
Rare Brain Capital helps companies improve performance and sell for maximum value. How ready is your company to grow or to sell? Want to know how you're doing? Get your free score plus customized report in just a few minutes at no cost or obligation. Visit rarebrain.com/score.